It's giving news, but this time it's giving music industry secrets, artists who knew too much, and stories that just don't add up. It's giving accidents that feel intentional and the pattern we simply can't ignore. Let's talk about it. Several artists spoke out against UMG, Universal Music Group, the biggest record label in the world, and soon after, they seemed to somehow end up unalived. Some of the biggest names in the music industry simply gone. Coincidence? Or is there a pattern the industry just don't want us to see? Now, obviously, we can't attribute all of these untimely unalivements to UMG, but some may seem questionable to say the least. Let's talk about it. Let's start with Tupac Shakur. He unexpectedly transitioned in September 1996 at the age of 25. Tupac wasn't just making music, he was making noise about the corruption in the music industry. He accused major labels, including UMG, of exploiting artists, stealing money, and even being involved in criminal activity. He was on the verge of leaving his label and going independent, taking millions with him. Then, coincidentally, in September 1996, he was shot several times. He survived 6 days, then unfortunately transitioned. Now, here's where things get suspicious. Some say UMG couldn't afford to let Tupac leave and take his influence with him. Others believe his death was an orchestrated hit to silence him before he could expose more. Some say his transition was due to East Coast West Coast beef. But he was very vocal about UMG nonetheless before his transition. So what do you think? A tragic coincidence or something planned? Something more sinister? Next, let's talk about Michael Jackson. He transitioned in June 2009 at the age of 50. Michael Jackson was fighting a war against the industry. He called out Sony and Universal saying they don't really care about us. Wasn't just a song, it was his actual truth. He was trying to regain ownership of his own music, including other artists' catalogs worth billions. Then right before his This Is It tour, a comeback that would have put him back in control, he suddenly transitioned unexpectedly. So let's break it down. Michael Jackson reportedly said he was afraid for his life before his untimely transition. His estate made over $2 billion after his transition. Who really profited from that? You need to ask yourself that. And his doctor, Conrad Murray, was the fall guy, but was he working alone? But he too was very vocal about UMG nonetheless before his transition. Could this have been a setup? Let me know your thoughts. Then we have Prince. He transitioned in April 2016 at the age of 57. Prince was one of the biggest threats to the music industry. He publicly fought for artists to own their masters, called labels a slave system, and even changed his name to escape his contract. He was about to take full control of his music, then suddenly he was found unalive in an elevator. The cause, a fentanyl overdose? But there's only one problem. Prince had no prior history of drug abuse. So where did the fentanyl come from? He had just won a legal battle to regain control of his masters, right? He told fans weeks before his unalivement that someone was trying to terminate him. So he spoke out vocally against these items that was freaking him out. Now, what are the odds that right when he was about to gain full control of ownership of his music, he suddenly overdosed? But he too was very vocal of UMG nonetheless before his transition as well. These unexpected transitions all have one thing in common. Every artist challenged the industry. Every artist either left us mysteriously or was erased from the industry. And every time UMG and the major record labels profited. So let's really think about this. Tupac, Michael Jackson, and Prince, three of the biggest, most powerful artists of all time. All three of them challenged the music industry. All three of them fought for control of their music, their masters, and their legacy. And all three of them are no longer here with us. Tupac was on the verge of going independent, making millions away from his label. Then he's suddenly gone. Michael Jackson was about to expose the dark side of the industry and reclaim full control over his billion-dollar catalog, then gone. Prince warned us that the industry was after him, fought for artist ownership, and just as he was about to win, he's gone. At what point do we stop calling it a coincidence? But let's be real. Who benefits every single time? It's always the label, the industry, the same machine that these artists fought against. And trust me, we're not done. There are more artists who spoke out and mysteriously disappeared. Drop a comment if you're ready for part two.